Okay. Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to start a new novel for your class for the 2023 batch, and that is Nectar in a Sieve. Yes. What is Nectar in a Sieve? Yes, come up with your ideas. What do you think Nectar in a Sieve means? Yeah. Okay. I see a lot of good answers coming. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Nectar is actually a fluid, some sort of a sugary fluid which we find in flowers. And nectar is also a symbol of goodness, like positivity, pleasantness. Okay, I'd rather say positivity. Okay, and sieve, girls, sieves, right? I hope you go to the kitchen of your house. All right, you don't stay in your rooms all the time. Okay. So sieve is a utensil used in the kitchen. It's like a mesh kind of utensil, and it's used for straining liquids. Okay, and not solids actually, especially liquids. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a different kind of a sieve. Sieve, yeah, yeah. Okay, I've got a question saying, okay, teacher, sieve can be used for solids as well. Yeah. Solids such as flour, baking soda, yeah. You're gonna make a chocolate cake now. Okay. So yeah, you can take it that way as well. The sieve can be used to strain liquids or solids, yeah, of course. And then, so what is this nectar in a sieve? Now you know the meaning of nectar, you know the meaning of sieve. So what is nectar in a sieve? What is the meaning of it? Nectar, when put into a sieve, cannot be preserved, cannot be saved, right? It goes, it leaks, right? So, like it will leak and run out. And this symbolically, okay, symbolically, this may express the fact that goodness and positive things may not be preserved forever. Okay, it could give out the idea that happiness is not permanent. Okay, happiness is some sort of a temporary thing. Okay, so that is what is meant by the topic. All right, so yes, let's step into chapter 1. Okay, the part 1 is not important. Let's go into chapter 1. Sometimes at night, I think that my husband is with me again, coming gently through the mists, and we are tranquil together. Okay, there is one thing which is really very clear here, and that is, when you get I, okay, and my, and me, what is clear here? I think that my husband is with me again. Yes, it's not you, it's not he, okay? It's I. So, yes, but yeah, it's a first person narration, it's first person point of view, okay? And then morning comes, the wavering grey turns to gold. There is a stirring within as the sleepers awake, and he softly departs. Okay, so here, I think that my husband is with me again. Um, gives us the idea that he is not with her. Okay, the person the character he is not with the character her. Okay, we don't know their names still. Okay, so don't get confused. The character he is not with the character her still. She goes back into her past. This is some kind of a flashback. Okay, and coming gently through the mists, and we are tranquil together. She seems to recall her husband in a positive side, like positive light. Okay, their memory or their past is some sort of a positive. She, not their past, but she recalls the past as something positive. Okay, and then morning comes, the wavering gray turns to gold. Here, this is an effect. Then morning comes. She steps into the present reality. She was talking about the past, and like all of a sudden, she steps into the reality. Okay? The wavering gray turns to gold. What are these two colors? Here, gray actually it symbolizes something. Okay, it symbolizes something, and that is sadness, dullness. Okay, you can get both the words. Like the memories with her husband are a part of her past. Okay, and she can't re-experience those peaceful times with him again. You know, like this is a prediction of the fact that she misses him more deeply, and she wants to experience those experiences again, but that's unable. Okay, and gold, it's complete happiness. Gold is complete happiness. Okay, and he softly departs. There is a stirring within us as sleepers awake, and he softly departs. Who is he here? It's not the husband actually, but the vision of her husband. Okay, don't understand it as the husband. He is not the husband, but the vision of her husband. Okay, one by one they come out into the early morning sunshine. My son, my daughter, and Puli, the child I clung to, who was not mine, and he no longer a child. Puli is with me because I tempted him. Out of my desperation, I lured him away from his soil to mine. Yet I have no fears now. What is done is done. There can be no repining. Are you happy with me? I said to him yesterday, being sure of the answer. He nodded, not hesitating, but a little impatient. An old woman's foibles, a need for comfort. Okay, so what happens here? One by one, they come out into the early morning sunshine. My son, my daughter, and Puli, the child I clung to. What is that? Clung to is held on or attached to. Okay? Held on or attached to. And he no longer a child, which means he has grown up. Puli is with me because I tempted him. Tempted is to persuade or to force. Okay? Out of my desperation. Um, yeah, I've got I've got a question here saying, teacher, can you please explain the first paragraph like as a summary? Yeah, of course. The narrate. Yes. What is it? Okay, you want to know what? Okay, okay. Now listen, children. This is a very interesting question. Um, Now she asks me what is meant by gray and gold here. Okay, not like symbolically, but in the whole para. Okay, the narrator, okay, the protagonist is drifting in between sadness and happiness. Okay, in between sadness and happiness, in between her present and the past. Now for example, when you take this, and we sometimes at night I think, okay, it's just the thought, and all of a sudden then morning comes. Okay, so she drifts in between her present and the past. the beginning. Okay, this is the beginning. This is where the novel starts. Okay, the beginning of the novel is a proof how fond um the narrator is of her husband. Okay, the narrator is very fond of her husband, and we can also see how much she loves him, although they aren't together. Okay, now they are not really together. The husband has gone away. The husband has passed away actually. Okay, but now the way the protagonist speaks about the memories, not actually about the husband, but about the memories, and it proves or it shows us how much um fond she is of her husband. Okay, so yes, yeah, clung to his puta, held on or attached. Okay, got it? Yes, and out of my tempted him out of my desperation. The narrator seems to have brought Puli to be with her. Okay, like Puli has not told, okay, I'll come with you. No, not like that. The narrator has um brought the narrator has brought Puli to be with her. Okay, and I lured is attracted, okay, him away from his soil to mine. Yet I have no fears now. What is done. There can be no repining. Repining is to feel sorry or to regret. Okay. Are you happy with me? She wants what does that mean? She wants to be sure that he was happy since she was the one who brought him there. Okay. Because Puli did not want to come here actually, but Rukmani, sorry, yeah, the protagonist. Okay, you don't know the names yet. I'm really sorry to spoil. Okay, spoiler alert. The narrator wants to be sure, wants to make sure that he was happy. Since Puli was happy since she was the one who brought him there. And what is done is, yeah, I said to him yesterday, being sure of the answer. What does that mean? Being sure of the answer. Yes. Can anyone come out with the meaning, like what you think it is? Yeah, exactly. She had asked this question many times before. So, which means he is obviously happy and content. Okay? He nodded, not hesitating, but a little impatient. An old woman's foibles, a need for comfort. Her constantly questioned pulley seems to be an insecurity. An unsureness, probably. Maybe it comes with old age. Okay, because like she needs to hear that he is happy with her always. Like maybe this is giving her a great comfort. She can feel relaxed or relieved when she listens to his answer. Okay, because the most important thing is the protagonist is the one who has brought him here. Okay, so that is the reason why she constantly questions him, like, are you happy with me? Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next para. But I'm comforted most when I look at his hands. He has no fingers, only stubs, since what has been taken can never be given back. But they are clean and sound. Where the sores were, there is now pink puckered flesh. These limbs are untouched. Kenny and Selvam between them have kept my promise to him. Okay. Um, what does this line mean? But I am comforted most when I look at his hands. He has no fingers, only stubs, since what has been taken can never be given back. But they are clean and sound. What does this line talk about? Yes, yes. This shows that Puli was not in a great physical condition, like a good state, before the narrator brought him here. After Puli came here only, we don't know where here and there is, okay, still. But after Puli was brought to the place where they are now only, his physical condition, like, his hands were not there, sorry, his fingers were not there, okay, only stubs were remaining. So that was a good condition, that was made a good condition when um he was brought here, okay, by the protagonist. Where the source were, there is now pink puckered flesh. Puckered is wrinkled or like gathered together. His yeah. What does that mean? Yeah, police condition, the physical condition has improved a lot after coming to this place, after coming to this particular place. His limbs are untouched. It suggests that he was probably tortured or violently handled in his past. Okay, we don't know his past yet, but we just have a small hint. Okay, Kenny is a name of the doctor, and Selvam is the protagonist's fifth son. Okay, between them have kept my promise to him. The narrator's life to Puli for a the narrator's promise to Puli for a better life. This promise was fulfilled by whom? By Kenny and Selva. Exactly. In the distance, when it is a fine day and my sight is not too dim, I can see the building where my son works. He and Kenny, he is her son, the young and the old. Okay. A large building, spruce and white. Not only money has built it, but men's hopes and pity. What is it? Not only money has built it, but men's hopes and pity. Yes. Yeah, construction of this building or constructing this building was a was really a great struggle. Okay. Like, it was a great struggle because they were suffering, like they were not they were struggling financially, and they were not um they did not have much money, okay, um to build this building. We don't know what the building is actually, but to build this building, they did not have um much resources, okay. As I know, who have seen it grow brick by brick and year by year. My three sisters were married long before I was. Shanta first, a big wedding which lasted for many days, plenty of gifts and feasts, diamond earrings, a gold necklace, as befitted the daughter of the village headman. Okay, befitted the daughter of the village headman. What does that mean? Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for that answer. Yeah, it was a very big village. It was a very great village where they they wanted a village headman. Okay, a village headman was necessary to control the village. Okay, and Padmini next, and she too made a good match and was married fittingly, taking jewels and dowry with her. But when it came to Tangam, only relations from her own village came to the wedding and not from the surrounding districts as they had done before. And the only jewel she had was a diamond nose probe. So what happens? It was a simple function. Okay, Tangam's marriage was a simple, very very simple function. Um, only the relations from their own village came, and like it was not as grand as the marriage of uh, yeah, there were two marriages before him. It was Padmini and Shanta. They had quite big grand weddings, but Tangam, he had only a, like, a simple function. Okay, this probably this probably may be due to the financial constraints of her father. Okay, because I'll tell you later. Okay, the village headman's prosperity and you know power goes down. Okay, the prosperity declines, and he lost his power and the authority. Okay, so like we they had a gradual change in the social order. Okay, the village headmans were not there, the tax collectors came. Okay, there is much more going on, like deeply. All right. What for you, my mother would say, taking my face in her hands. My last born, my baby. 4 dowries is too much for a man to bear. This part is really important because I'll say why. Because dowries, a dowry, like the word dowry is a symbol of the whole drama, sorry, whole novel, because dowries are a significant part of the Indian marriage system, all right, where the father of the bride is expected to give um, sorts of riches, jewels, money to the groom to marry his daughter. Okay, so this reveals that the society doesn't treat women equal to men. Okay, so here the theme of gender discrimination is highlighted, is emphasized. Okay, so the protagonist says, I shall have a grand wedding, I would say, such that everybody will remember when all else is a dream forgotten. I had heard this phrase in a storyteller's tale. For he is not my father head of the village. I knew this pleased my mother, for she would at once laugh and lose her look of worry. Once, when I repeated this, my eldest brother overheard me and he said sharply, don't speak like a fool. The headman is no longer of consequence. It's like not important anymore. Okay, no longer of consequence is not important anymore. There is the collect I told you. It's the tax collector. It's like the colonial administration starts here. Okay, who comes to these villages once a year, and to him is the power, and to those he appoints, not to the headman. Okay, so there we see the um, prosperity or the authority. We can take authority or the power of the village headman of this protagonist's father is declining his position. Okay, like his fortune went down with the introduction of the tax collector. Okay, um this was the first time I had ever heard that my father was of no consequence. It was as if a prop is a support, right, on which I leaned had been roughly kicked away, and I felt frightened and refused to believe him. But of course he was right, and by the time I came to womanhood, even I had to acknowledge that his prestige is respect, regard, okay, was much diminished, like gone down or lessened or reduced. Okay, perhaps that was why they could not find me a rich husband and married me to a tenant farmer. Tenant farmer is farmer is someone who works in a land, but tenant farmer is someone who works for somebody else's land. All right, who was poor in everything but in love and care for me, his wife, whom he took at the age of 12. Okay, but in love and care for me. He was poor in everything, but in love and care for me, he was kind of rich. Okay, so that highlights the fact that he was a very loving and a caring husband. This is what is important for a healthy and a good relationship. Okay, uh, his wife, whom he took at the age of 12. Okay, it's a custom. Okay, child marriage. Okay, it shows Indianness, and it also shows that, like, She had no option. She had no other choice. Okay. Our relatives, I know, murmured that the match was below me. He was of a lower status and position actually, because like this protagonist is a village headman's daughter and she is marrying a tenant farmer. That was kind of a rumor in that village. Okay. So, like they were murmuring here and there. Okay. My mother herself was not happy, but I was without beauty and without dowry. So here, for a woman to be married to a rich man of a good status, she had to have beauty and a large dowry. Both were like prerequisites for marriage. Okay, a woman's future is heavily dependent on the men around her. Like, for example, what her father can give her and the status of her husband. Some stuff like that. This society values outer appearance and materialistic things, not like, does he love her? Will he care for her? No, nothing like that. It only goes behind, materialistic stuff. Okay. And it was the best she could do. A poor match, they said, and not always quietly. How little they knew, any of them. It implies that the love and happiness between the narrator and her husband was not known to this society. It was only between them. Okay, only both of them knew what was happening in their relationship. Okay. A woman, they say, always remembers her wedding night. Well, maybe they do. But for me, there are other nights that I prefer to remember. Sweeter, fuller, when I went to my husband, matured in mind as well as in body. Like to be aware mentally and physically about a sexual relationship. That is what is meant by matured in mind. Not as a pained and awkward. Awkward is uncomfortable. Not as a pained and awkward child as I did on that first night. Her first experience was painful and uncomfortable. Okay, she didn't enjoy. And when the religious ceremonies had been completed, we left, my husband and I. How well I remember the day and the sudden sickness that overcame me when the moment for departure came. Like she was scared and sad to leave her household. Okay, my mother in the doorway, no tears in her eyes, shows that, like, um, you know, maybe she doesn't upset the narrator. Okay, like if the mother also cries, then like the protagonist may not have been so strong. Okay, so the mother was holding her tears. Okay, but her face bloated with their weight shows that like the mother has cried before. My father standing a little in front of her, waiting to see us safely on our way. My husband seated already on the bullock cart with the tin truck full of cooking vessels and my saris next to him. Now, the bullock cart is a traditional way of living, you know, like, and we can also take it from the other side, like, the protagonist going in a bullock cart shows that the status had declined so much, okay, for them to go in a bullock cart. Somehow, I found myself also sitting in the cart in finery. Finery is like wearing fine clothes with downcast eyes. Then the cart began to move, lurching as the bullocks got awkwardly into rhythm. And I was sick, like feeling to throw up. Okay. Um, yes. Such a disgrace for me, like such an insult for me. How shall I ever live it down? I remember thinking, I shall never forget. Like she recollects her memories, recollects her thoughts. I haven't forgotten, but the memory is not so. My husband soothed and calmed me. So we see her husband is kind of a considerate person, a loving, a caring person. Okay. So yes, we can you know um, if we take up to here, okay, if we take up to here, we can get some stuff um, into our heads. Okay, now we know village headman's prosperity goes down and he loses his power and authority. Okay, he could not afford a dowry for Ruku. Ruku is Rukmani. Rukmani is the name of the protagonist. We have not gone um so far. Okay, we will get to know her at some point in the future. Okay, so through these weddings, actually, through through these weddings here, it shows that the family is going down, like going through something or going down economically. Okay, they have financial problems, and these dowries, as I said, the dowries emphasize the fact that not the fact actually, it emphasizes the Indianness, like the Indian culture and their traditions and customs. Okay, and even like the prerequisites of marriage, where was that? I was, where was it? Is around here, right? I was without beauty and without dowry. Where was it? Here. I was without beauty and without dowry. Yeah. And it was the best she could do. Okay, yeah. So that also um shows Indianness. Okay. And even the child marriage, this part, whom he took at the age of 12, this also, because this shows about child marriage, so that's also Indianness. Okay. And the protagonist's marriage was kind of painful. Okay, and kind of disappointed. She felt like she was dumped by her own father. Okay, because like they are like Shanta and Padmini, they have kind of grand weddings, like grand marriages, and they also had dowries. Okay, even Thangam, he had like some kind of a simple function, but Rukmani, but the protagonist, okay, she did not have anything. She had no dowry, and um, she got married to a tenant farmer. Okay, so she felt disappointed. She felt like she was dumped by her father. Okay, so yes. Just let me know whether you have any questions on up to the point we did now. Up to here. Up to here, just tell me if you have any questions or any doubts, any part where which you couldn't understand, or any word that you don't know the meaning of. Yes? All right, great. Okay. So then let's stop for the morning session, and let's join about like, yeah, I'll give you a 15 minutes break. Okay, not 10, actually 15. So you can join again um, from 15 minutes. I'll send a text in the groups as well. Okay, thank you and God bless you, children.